Good afternoon. Father asked me to do a video to show you how the church is set up and to how we will be going to communion as we come back together on May the 30th. So I'm going to flip this around and give a view of the church, and then Megan Conway is here and the DeVitos are here to help us see how these lines will be going.
On phones you can do that though, can't you? I mean, I see people, Yeah.
As you can see, we have the chairs set up where two people are available to sit together with the chairs, and that would be two people coming from the same household. And then over by the chapel, they are set up in segments of 4 to accommodate some families. As you register, you will tell us how many in your household will be here so that we can make sure that chairs are set up in a safe distancing. The pews, you will see, we have measured them out, and they will be available for 3 people in each pew to keep the safe distancing. Over on this side, we've done the same as we did on the other side, except for the size to keep it distance from the piano area. We have set it up also with 2 per seat. We are going to demonstrate for you how our best practices will be as we begin receiving communion at Pax Christi. As you can tell, I am on the choir side of the sanctuary, and we have chairs set up that are safe distances apart throughout both sides of the church. The extraordinary minister will be standing here, where many of you are used to the cup minister being. We will not be serving with the precious blood. Father, whether it be Father Pat or Father Larry, will be standing at the side directly opposite from where I am standing on the chapel side. So we will demonstrate how communion lines will be formed. As the communion minister comes to the spot that they will be serving communion, they will have picked up the ciborium from the altar, brought it down, placed it on this small table, sanitized their hands, and then picked up the ciborium. At that point, the person that is sitting here in this first chair will come up and keep the distance as best she can from the communion minister. There will be no words of communion spoken. The host will be held up and placed in the person's hand. You will bow as you normally do, but there will be no words exchanged. So, in these chairs, they're designed for 2 people. So those are 2 people from the same household. So they can come up to the communion line together and return together. As this person is coming up this way, the second row there will come around, come towards the sanctuary, and wait until the people who are here receiving communion have left. And you can edit. Have left. We're going to go directly that way. Not to your chair. Kind of now to, because then Allison's coming this way. As you can see, we are continually trying to keep that safe distance. Now, if in the process of giving communion, I were to touch Allison's hand or she were to reach up and touch mine, I will place, she will have communion, I will place the ciborium down, and I will sanitize my hands once again. We will pick up the ciborium and we will continue. So these first set of 2 seats will come up safe distancing. Once they have come through, the second set of seats will come up in the same manner. After they've gone back through, we will start closest to the wall and have them come up, and 2 by 2, because they are seated in households, so the 2 people can come together. Single people will be seated in the pews as we designate. And once that side has gone to communion and left communion, going down the center aisle around to their seat, then this first row that has 3 people in it, 1 on either side and 1 in the center, will come forward to receive communion and go back into their seat. And that should be a flow where no one is in that aisle together. So you ask, what happens when Father is serving those in the pew and I'm serving those on this side? Can I ask you to come over? So Father is serving there, and I'm serving here. And there are people who are seated in the pew. Again, there's no word spoken. I give the host. They're both going towards the center. So what happens? We use our etiquette. One stops and one goes directly down, and then the other. You can see we have the rows with 2 people who are in the same household sitting together. And so after this section up here by the side has gone and come back to their seats, the side by the wall will come up first. So they will come down 6 feet behind. The next row will come up and keep distance. They will return after receiving communion down the center of the main aisle. Once the side by the wall has finished, the usher will present this other side closer to the pew to come forward. They will come forward 2 by 2 with people of the same household. They will receive communion. Please note, this gentleman has gloves on to protect his hands from viruses. We will not give communion to anyone with gloves. If you're wearing gloves in church, you will need to take them off. As you know, that is a standard practice in the church, that we never receive communion in a gloved hand. But once he takes his gloves off, he'll receive communion, and he will go down the center aisle and come along and come down this aisle here, which by that time others will have moved forward. If he meets people there that are trying to come down for communion, he will stop and wait for the aisle to clear to come back to his seat. Once this aisle has received communion, then we will move to this first pew coming up, but please watch to make sure that everyone has been seated in the chair section. It's going to take some learning. It's going to take some some patience. It's going to take some consideration of one another, but we can do it. And as the weeks go on, the more we do it, we will become as accustomed to that as normally coming to communion. As I showed you on the video, we have chairs that are set up that are set by twos. And so each of those folks will be two people who live in the same household. Here we've got 4 chairs in a group. Those 4 will be from the same household. And where I showed you the communion yesterday, or earlier, was from the side with 2 chairs. Communion on this side will be the same situation. The 4 closest to the wall will be coming up for communion first. They can come up together. The row behind them, keeping safe distance, can come forward to the sanctuary and then come forward when that group leaves. They will leave and they will keep their safe distance from each other. When the section closest to the wall finishes communion, then the second section will go, and then the same as what we described on the other side will happen over on the chair side, with the pews coming last over this way. So the priest will be standing here next to the sanctuary so that everybody can flow through and go back and keeping safe distance. You may have noticed earlier in the video that Megan Conway, when she was helping me, she came forward to receive communion. And I don't know if you caught it or not, but she did not take communion as soon as I placed it in her hand. She waited, she turned, dropped her mask, and then put the host in her mask, in her mouth. I don't know if that was evident in the video as you have just seen it. We hope that you are staying safe. We hope you will consider signing up to come to Mass and join us on the 30th, 31st, or the 1st of June. We look forward to seeing you, and we hope to be providing you with a safe place to come.
And I will raise you.